Morning, everyone. I'm Jen Loder with Great Barrier Reef Foundation, and Dean, my co-presenter, also presenting on behalf of Tracey Schultz from UQ. And now I'm going to try to figure out technology. Yay. And we're presenting on striking the balance for monitoring community reef stewardship. We'd like to get things to work. We'd like to start by acknowledging traditional owners of the lands on which we meet today and the locations across Queensland connected with this work, and recognize the long and continued custodianship and care for land and sea country by First Nations people. This work is being designed and delivered with a range of community partners. Those listed here are groups who are actively engaging and shaping and testing some of the tools and resources that we'll speak today, and many others are sharing their insights and ideas through conversations. We'll also note that this work leverages the broader Protect Community Stewardship Monitoring project that's being delivered with a range of researchers at UQ, CSIRO, and QUT. So across Queensland and connected sea country, every day there are community members lending a hand to projects that help care for the reef. Diverse activities include a range of on-ground work encompassing rehabilitating coastal habitats, coral monitoring and protecting turtles, building practical knowledge about local climate actions, the list goes on. Engaging local communities in reef protection stewardship efforts taps into the local knowledge, delivers meaningful contributions, promotes collective ownership, caring for the reef. And yet, despite the extent of these efforts and some of the recognition of the range of ecological, social, cultural, and economic benefits that they may harness, there was no consolidated way to provide a snapshot of the depth and breadth of this incredible work. Many practitioners could see this gap. And while most groups are really busy and stretched delivering core programs, many are seeking better tools to measure, inform, and drive their work. The Reef Integrated Monitoring and Reporting identified the gap. Stewardship monitoring was identified as a critical monitoring priority in reporting on contributions to Reef 2050. And the community component under Reef Trust Partnership could also see the gap early in program logic design and really sought to embed exploring, trialing, and learning from different approaches to help measure stewardship and track change in the program. And so there's broad recognition that stewardship monitoring is important, helps with documenting outcomes, helps with supporting adaptive management and program design, helps with enabling resourcing, and helps to foster positive feedback loops of stories, recognizing the people and showcasing community leadership that's delivering the work.
Hello. Sorry, it's all a bit exciting up here. Oh, now I've got the big magic green button. It's so I'm leading the Protect project with a bunch of fabulous people, and Liz Hoffman is speaking about it this afternoon in one of the sessions after lunch. You've got to swim across the pool to get there. So the Protect project is part of the IMR program that aims to monitor community stewardship, which is a big diverse bucket of things, of people doing stuff with the intention of helping the reef. So at the start of this project, I was chatting with Jen and she said, but there's already a bunch of programs out there doing the thing, and can we help them monitor what they're doing as well? So that's where the inception for this extra bit got started. So as part of a sort of little piggyback on this broader stewardship monitoring, which is still this bigger beast that is in train, what we did is we worked with a lot of community groups to go, well, what do you want to monitor? What do you need to monitor more effectively? And of course, this is a real tension, is that every community group wants to know what's going on. Who's doing what? Why did they step out of bed and turn up to my event? What happens when they go home? Have I changed them into Uber stewards? All of this stuff. But knowing that is hard to measure. We can't just stick a drone over an event. If only we could, that would be great. So we've worked with so we've provided toolkits for groups as well to go, okay, if you want to monitor stuff, this is some of the ways you can do that. And we haven't launched that yet. But what we've, So one of the things that we in our conversations with groups to go, okay, we want to know everything, but given that we don't have time to measure everything when you've got people for 30 seconds at the end of an event, what can we get? So the priority for these groups were really understanding community capacity and motivation. We know that these are both really important for any type of action, and these things are things that enable stewardship. So you need them to go and do a thing, but doing the thing, doing the stewardship can also build your capacity and motivation and cause a positive cycle of stewardship. We also wanted to know about opportunity. Do people know what's out there and where to go? And also this broader sense of connection or an ethic of care for the reef. So in terms of how this relates to our stewardship frameworks, this sort of, I'll just do 3 seconds. So at the top, the blue box at the top is really about the stewardship programs and initiatives. So organisations that are encouraging people to do stuff. We go down to the first green box on the left, which is really all the enabling conditions, the contextual factors and the internal states that allow someone to step out the door and do a thing. The green box on the right is all the things that they might do. And then the blue box at the bottom is those social and environmental outcomes. And what's really interesting is everyone knows the environmental outcomes is really important, but I guess because there's a lot of biophysical scientists in this space, they feel sort of comfortable navigating that space. And what they really want help with is understanding both those social drivers and social outcomes, so they can work with communities more effectively to go, hey, here's another great thing, step up and join us. So I'm stepping back to Jen.
And so as we build and trial this pilot community reef stewardship monitoring toolkit, what are some of the things that we're learning through the process? We're learning there are some emerging priorities for the types of things to monitor. So some of the key things we're finding that practitioners want to know is what motivates participants to get and stay involved, how knowledge, capacity, and action has changed through engaging in their activities. And beyond the ecological outcomes of what people are doing on ground, what are some of the social outcomes that stem from that participation? We're also learning that there are opportunities for strengthening kind of practical methods in the support for rolling out these monitoring approaches. So there's still room to grow for tools on measuring stewardship that are robust, but also really practical and easy to use. We're seeing both an interest in exploring new tools and some of the natural inclination to revert back to tools like surveys as a trusted approach. Beyond tools and methods, we're trying different types of support to put these tools into practice, kind of hearing about the value of building in more time for project leads to support these efforts, about more technical support for design and data processing to help with implementation, and as well in some instances, really strong interest in building capacity within organizations to strengthen their own in-house delivery now and into the future. And we're also learning about that kind of balance of collective and tailored measures. So there's broad interest in being able to kind of ladder information up and tell a collective story. But this really requires some standardized approaches with core measures. But we're also being reminded about the importance of flexibility in the types of information that's collected. So looking at ways to kind of support those flexible add-ons that help ensure projects get the information they need to really tell the story of their unique work and help drive how they deliver that. And over to you, Ange.
Oh, is that me?
It is. Surprise.
No, oh, what a shame, I have to stop. No, sorry, I didn't look at this slide. So what we're going to do, this is going to be one of those embarrassing read the slide moments, is so we're going to continue working with community groups to go, okay, we've given you these toolkits, we've given you these ways to measure, we've helping them to have a really simple, like 10-second survey that they can deploy at the end of events and analyze that data collectively. We're going to keep doing more tools and resources, and some of that's about tricky social issues like how to communicate climate change in a reef context, drawing from some of Yolanda's work, who's also speaking this afternoon about that. Some of the stuff is about, if you want to do a survey, how to do it. Don't make it really long, don't make it annoying. So how to capture this data without, I guess, annoying all the people along the way. So impact tracking, how to tell and share a story that celebrates what you're doing and inspires other people to step up. So how can we get past, a lot of this is about how can we get past that narrative of how bad something is, because we know that by itself isn't overly motivational, and go, here's some amazing stuff that people are doing that inspires people to step up. So thank you very much. Yeah, we did it. And I thought,